Testing. Testing. Okay, cool. Really, Kelly? Charlie! Yeah, chill. Seriously, chill. What's up, gamers? So I'm gonna be making a building type thing, and I'm gonna share it with you guys, or you guys can at least see the process that I used to make it. Let's make sure this is working. Whatever. We'll see. Let's make sure this. Okay, yeah, we good. Let me share this for a second. Stop. Bye. Okay, we should be good now. I'm just gonna ping people. Okay, so before I get started, this is just a disclaimer. Like, I only started using Blender like maybe a year ago, half a year ago. So just keep that in mind. Like, if you're gonna try to follow along, this is probably not the best way to do it. This is just like my ghetto way of doing stuff. I'd recommend a reference image for anybody trying to do anything. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to like city, a building. Let's see here, like an apartment building, for example. Apartment building. Oh, whoa, I'm not trying to buy one. Here, let's get rid of for sale. And just pick out one that you like, and you'll use that as your reference for making one. I'm just gonna find something like kind of simple. Like, this will work. I like the shape of those windows. It'll be fun to make. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 6 of these type of windows, so I'm gonna try to replicate that, but I don't really want mine as long. I want mine kind of square. Anyway, so let's get the basic thing to do for Blender always is just get your basic shapes down. So like if I were to make a building, you got a square, right? That's the basic shape for a building. Let's see here. I'm gonna start by giving it a little lip at the bottom. And then I'm gonna insert a face like this and extrude it like that. So now you have a little lip at the bottom like most buildings have. And then I'm just gonna replicate that same thing at the top. So insert faces. Oh no, not insert. Let's see here. I'm just gonna go down here and I'm gonna duplicate that, and then I'm just gonna move that one up just like that. And then since this is flat, you guys see this flat surface, I'm just gonna click E and that extrudes it. And now you have like a basic like building like shape kind of. Now let's go back to our reference image. You see this lip here, and then like at the bottom, it is kind of on a slanted hill, so that's an issue, but we're just gonna ignore that and pretend it's perfectly straight. See here, we need doors and we need windows, so we should probably go ahead and make some subdivisions for those. And for like people who don't understand Blender, I'd recommend like checking out some beginner tutorials before you jump into stuff like this, so you can at least understand the process. But this is like fairly easy, I suppose. Loop cut, and then there. So now we have like enough subdivisions right here. All right, and now I'm just gonna select this face and then subdivide it. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna loop cut it like that. And then there, and then just do it again. Now we have like a square right here that we could use for a door if we wanted to. So if I were to like select these, let's see here, and it's X, I think. Whatever. We can deal with that later. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna insert a face here and then press E, just like that. And now we have a lip at the top of the building too, like most of them do, so you don't fall off. Just like that. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna start working on some, let me think, some windows. Okay, let's not make some ugly, see, this is Blender, it's not very user friendly. Okay, let's not make some ugly, what was I gonna say? Like topology, you guys are seeing this right here. Ignore this big, get that out of the way for a second. This is bad, like these, yeah, there. You guys see these lines? These shapes are bad because like it's bad for topology. Like if you go to texture paint this, then your textures won't be as, like they won't look good. Let's see here. All right. Let's go back to, let's go to, see here, view, bottom. That's looking fine. Just this, so let's, just like that, and then get rid of that again. Okay. Let's switch back to solid. To here. Okay. And we're gonna make some cuts for windows, just like that. Select all these sides. You can press Alt and then right click and it'll select the whole loop, which is good. See here, and then we're just gonna insert some faces, just like that, and then press E, and I'm gonna, E. Do want it taller though, so I'm just gonna click S and then Z, and now we have a taller building, like that. Now I'm just gonna save this real quick. Building there, and I'm gonna reload, and I need to work on another thing while we hold off on that one for a second. So real quickly, we're just gonna create another building, and we're just gonna scale it like that. It's like the base or whatever. This is like ghetto, by the way. This is like probably not how you're supposed to do it, but whatever. So like the bottom, just drag it up. And then I just move that down. So now we have like a square platform for the base. Insert a cube and scale that one down. And I usually just move it along the axis. And now, okay, I'm just gonna that up a little bit. Now we're just gonna go to top view. Right, and we're gonna duplicate. So that, just move it over a little bit, duplicate it again, move it over a little bit, and duplicate it again. Move it over a little bit. And I'm just gonna repeat that for like all sides essentially. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can try to line it up with these bottom ones if you want to, but I don't really care to. You could also, if you know how to, use the mirror modifier for this and just do half. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to be doing it all the way around so I can add some stylized touches to it later, which you'll see. Very repetitive. And the last one, just like that. Okay, so now we have this, right? So we're just gonna go through here and we're gonna select all the top faces just like this. Right? So now we can drag it up. And we have these beam looking things, which is nice for a building especially. So instead of having to create an entire building, I found that it's really easy just to do one floor, and then you can just kind of copy and paste it. So for this, we want the beams to stick out and add like you want them to add like some dimension to the building, but you don't want them to look flat and stuff, so we'll have to stylize that a little bit. But first, let's just go ahead and get this floor finished. So we're gonna insert a face just like that, and you see that it inserts a new face and it creates a new square, but it's still part of the original base, which is good. We're gonna make it about this size, and you guys can see there's a little lip right here, which is exactly what we're going for. I might make mine just a little bit bigger, just like that. Now you guys can press E, move it up, and now we have a little lip, and then we have these columns, and we have like a building on the inside, which is what I want. So I'm just gonna move that up a little bit, get that kind of even with the top, and that's pretty good. So now we're going to create another cube, right? And we're gonna do like the like buildings, a lot of them, you see how they have these lines that divide each floor. Let me find a better example, like these. We're gonna create something like that to kind of separate the floors. Oops, like this. So let's just hit scale. I'm gonna make that smaller and just kind of move it down a little bit and over. Now I'm gonna select a side and select the side and move it over, don't scale it. Right? And then select this side and do the same. And then from here do this one. Right, just like that. Now of course this is very tall, so we're just gonna move that down a little bit. And from what I would do from here is, see how these are kind of overlapping a little bit. I would make sure this one actually overlaps, just like that, and then do it over here as well, and here as well, just like that. Oh, I missed this side. Just move it over just a little bit more. And that should be pretty good. So we're just gonna select all 4 of these faces on the sides, and we're gonna hit E and then click. So that created a duplicate of all these faces, and from there we're gonna add a little ring around it. So we're gonna hit, let's see here, we're gonna hit S to scale. Oops, we're gonna hit S to scale, and we're gonna drag them all out just a little bit. So you see it created this whole new lip around all of them. And from there, all we're gonna do is drag this blue down. So now it created a bevel effect on all the edges, which is exactly what we want. And I think that's pretty good, and we can go ahead and duplicate that and create the rest of our buildings. So let's just hit A to select all of them, and then Shift D to duplicate, and from there you can just drag it up. And then Shift D, and you can do this however tall you want your building. So for me, I'm gonna do, let's say 5 floors. Oops. Just like that, and then 1 more. All right, so that's a basic building shape. Now obviously, if you like, I'm a fan of like, I don't like this being so so uniform. I like kind of stylized a little bit, so I'm just gonna go back into edit mode, and from here I'm going to, whoops, don't do that. Let's see here. First, we want to remove doubles just in case there is, like doubles means like I duplicated something and I didn't mean to. So there's like hidden faces that I don't know about, which is not good, especially for texture painting. So you could duplicate that and figure that out. Okay, anyways. So from here, what was I gonna do? Oh, we're gonna stylize it a little bit. So I'm gonna subdivide a little bit. Just to add more vertices to work with. And I'm gonna go into sculpt mode, and I'm going to select inflate/deflate brush, and I'm just gonna turn the radius of it up a little bit. And from here you can kind of like play around with your building and like give it more, you know what I mean? Give it more, I don't know what I'm trying to say. You can just make it look more distressed. Sure, we'll go with that word. And I'm just gonna like, you know, go to these corners, kind of make them look a little different from each other. Like if you want to drag that out in a little bit. Of course, whenever you're done with that, you can get rid of all the extra subdivisions you don't need. You can hit, oh shit. Let's see here, what's the command? Oh, X and then limited dissolve. There, you get rid of all the subdivisions you don't need anymore. Just like that. From here, we're gonna create another lip on the roof, similar to how we did on the other building. First of all, I don't like how it kind of curves in. That's not realistic to buildings. So we're just gonna hit S and scale that back out like that. And then insert a face, just like that, and hit E and do that. I think that's too thin, so we're gonna repeat that again, just like that. And then hit E, and you can hit S again, and it gives it this kind of like beveled effect on the inside of the roof. I've yet to add a door to this, so I could probably show you guys how to make a door real quick. It's real simple. But I mean, that's up to you guys as well. So we're just going to make room for a door. I'm gonna take one of these columns and just drag it up a little bit. So you guys see there's room for a door. All right, and I'm just gonna go back into object mode, and I'm gonna make a door separately. I'm gonna figure out what this is first. What's going on here? I have no idea where that came from, but okay. We're just gonna hit X and delete that because who knows what that is. Oh. There. It's looking pretty good. Alright. I'm gonna make the door in a whole separate model, or in a separate object, because you shouldn't repeat yourself when modeling, or at least within reason. So I could always like replicate this or like retexture this door and keep using it. So I'd just make it a separate asset if I were you. Let's see here. I'm gonna hit rotate and then 90. No, not now. Oh, first you need to specify the X axis. So X and then I hit 90. Oh no, it's Y. Then hit 90. It's not Y either. Listen, I'm not good at math. It's Z. There we go. You rotate it on the Z axis and it's gonna be 180. It's gonna be 90. Oh, whatever. I don't do math, guys. Rotate Z 90. Yes, I knew that. And then I would move it like to the area you need it in, just so you know about how big you need it. Of course, you can always resize it, but save yourself some time. Just like that. And then I'm gonna move this top up a little bit. Right, so that gives me a general idea of how big I need this door. Okay. And then you can look up a door reference if you want. So let me just go to like, there, do that. You could do something like this if you want. Or even something simple like this. I'll just show you guys like this, for example. Let's go here. And this looks like, we can keep it plain and simple. Oops, where'd it go? Here it is. Here we are. Okay, we can do, I want it to look too flat, so let me find a better example. Here, we can do this one. So you can see here, we're gonna need a loop cut here and a loop cut there, and then one here as well, and there. And then we can add, we can insert faces and add those squares. So this should be real simple. So let's start with those. Loop cut, and then we need one lower, and then we need one for the other bar. There we go. Just like that. Actually, we shouldn't need one for the other two. That one's the only one we needed. Let's go here and just insert face, as well as this one. We should probably do them at the same time, so they'll be equal in size. So just insert face and drag that over. So you could see we have the glass for the windows, and then we have the outside shape for the other parts. So real quickly, I'm just gonna adjust this. And we're gonna move this down a little bit, this up a little bit, as well as moving these together. Watch your topology, you don't want it to be too ugly. Just drag that down, just like that. And of course this door is looking very wide right now. So what we're gonna do is scale, scale, and then hit, what is it? S, and then you can choose the axis. I just choose Z. Just like that. Should be good. And now just select the faces you want. And you want them to go in a little bit, so I just drag them in. And of course, I would hit E just to create that effect. So there we have a basic door. These sides are looking awfully thin, so let's just add some more here. This is really bad topology. Like, you see this line? This could be a straight line, so we're just gonna fix that real quick. We're gonna select all these. And limited dissolve. So now it's a straight line. Hit E. And here. Let's see. E. And then S to scale. Assuming awkwardly, so we're just going to do it manually, individually, I mean. There, and then this side is as well. Actually, I just realized I don't need to add another face, I could just drag this one out like that. So let's just select both sides and drag them out. S, no, S, and then Z. I'm trying to think of the axis. Whatever, I'm just gonna do this. There, and then here. And that should be fine for the door. This looks really wide, so we're gonna drag this down. And this down, and this up, like that. And I decided, since this comes to such a sharp point, like this is such a sharp corner, I'm still gonna extrude it a little bit. So that should be fine. Let's go to object mode. Yeah, that looks like a fine door. We will need to add a handle here. But first I want to put a matte cap on these so I can see the shading better and make sure my topology is not weird. For people who don't know what topology is, it's basically like the way, here, let me show you. I can show you better than I can explain. Topology. Yeah, so it's like the way you create something. You see, this is bad because they're real jagged and it's really hard to work with. And whenever you go to texture or shade something, the better, the more uniform it is, the easier it is to do. As well as like lighting, especially in Roblox. If you have bad topology, it will show and it'll make some parts of your mesh like darker than the other. Yeah, so this is good topology. It's all uniform, it's all straight. And then let's see some bad topology. Yeah, this is a pretty good example, the first one. It's really bad. It's all like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just bad. So we're just trying to avoid that. The best way to avoid it, if you don't know how, you can hit X and then limited dissolve. And look, let's compare. You see all these, you don't need that, you don't need that, you don't need any of those. This takes away all those and it makes like the most simple version of your mesh possible. So that's exactly what we needed. So that door had two, so we're just going to duplicate the one we had. Shift D, click, and then drag over, just like that. And if you want to, you can join them all together. You can hit limited dissolve. I think that's fine. And we're gonna need a handle, but first let's make this, it's too wide, so let's make it kind of smaller. Let's just hit that, and then up a little. I think that should be fine. And then we're gonna need two handles, of course. Let me think, how am I gonna do these handles? Let me look at them again. Do we wanna do a different type of handle is the question. I could probably just do those, that's fine. Okay. I'm just gonna do the handles separate and then we're gonna combine it. So let's just do a cylinder and change the vertices to like 16 or something. You don't need 32. And we're gonna rotate it like 90 degrees. Like that. Okay. That should be fine. You don't need like so many faces on here. Like this is just 16. 1, 2, 3. Like you can count those going around. Because it's going to be so small on this door, you probably won't even need it. As a matter of fact, I can make it to where you can't see them at all. You can go to shading and UVs and then hit smooth for all of those. And now it looks like a perfectly round cylinder and there's no faces, even though right here there's still faces. So I think we're going to do that for our door. And let's just make that handle real quick. This is probably not a good way to do it, but I'm gonna do it this way anyways. Let's go to rotate. R, Z, that's not what I need. Oh, actually I can do it this way. Let's do it from the top view. Z, oops, Z, yes. And just, we're gonna create that curve effect. So extrude, rotate, Z, and then just keep moving it like so. Okay. Should be good. E, extrude it a little bit, rotate on the Z axis, and then move it like so. Extrude, rotate Z, like that, and then that should be good. Now you can just straighten that out. Right, so now we've got that shape, and we're just gonna do this whole thing again, or we did a separate object, so let's just use a mirror modifier. Oops, let's go to modifiers, add modifier, mirror, and then we're going to move this one back a little bit, just like that. That should be fine. Object mode, let's fix this right here. And then we can obviously mesh it together over here. Fix that. Should be fine. It's gonna be so small that it doesn't matter as much anyways. Alright, now we've got the handle shape. We're just gonna scale it down, hit S, and then make it as small as you need it to be. Alright, move that over. Now you can, you have to get out of edit mode, so switch to object mode and hit apply, and that'll apply your modifier for you. And rotate it 90 degrees. Oh, we're gonna have to do this way, apply 90 degrees, like that, and then once more. No. Let's just do this. Alright, what did I screw up? Oh. Here, I know what I did. Here. Let's see here. Resize. Okay, what the hell did I do? Welcome to Blender. Oh, okay. I see what I did here. What in the... Okay, that was weird. Anyways. Yeah, what is going on? That's weird. We'll just save after this and reopen Blender. Let's rotate this. Should be this way. I think it's 90. That. And then we do this. 0. It's weird. And then we're gonna eliminate this all that. Yeah, what is up with these meshes? Sorry for my dog being annoying. Okay, let's just move this. Yeah, what is going on here? Let's check what I did. Anyways, if you prefer a low poly feel versus this smooth feel, which is what I have going on here, you can take this handle and then you can go back into edit mode, and you can go here and you can change them back to flat and sharp, and now it'll have all its little curves back. The mistake I made for this, which I realize now, is that for the cylinder, when we first created it, it did not need 16 subdivisions. It probably needed maybe 5, if that. So now it's kind of looking a little odd, and so I don't think I'm going to use that handle, because if you look at like everything, look at this whole building as a whole, let me just go back, you see there's hardly any shapes. Like, you've got a few squares, you know what I mean? And then you zoom in and you look at this handle, look at how many surfaces there are. That's not good. Your build should stay consistent throughout, so I'm just gonna not use that. That's a basic shape for you guys. Don't know why it's being so, like, it keeps cutting out the texture. Oh, what's going on here? I literally have no clue what I did here. Cube. That's so weird. Because I had it selected? Yeah, why? Welcome to Blender. Oh god. Okay, so I'm just gonna select everything. I never got rid of camera or light. That's nice. Let's just delete both those. Select everything in your scene and Shift J, or is it Control J? One of them creates a, here, select both those. J, there we are. So now you do Control J, and that creates one entire mesh. So instead of having the door separate, you have the building and the door as one big thing. And from there, you can export it to Roblox. I just want to show you guys what this would look like in Roblox. So you export it as a wavefront object and just name it whatever, building 1, sure. And then you can have to insert object and then insert a mesh part in Roblox. And go to Mesh ID and then open it from your computer. Where did I put that is the question. Could it be this? What time is it? Don't you love that? Did I put it here? Oh, I think I put it here. Documents. No. Let's just do this again. We're gonna export it again because I can't sort stuff. Put it under documents. We're just gonna put it under downloads for now. There we go. Yeah. So now we have the building. It's obviously gonna import small. I think because Roblox uses such a different scale. Like, one stud in Roblox is like 1/3 of a Blender unit or whatever. It's real weird. But here's the basic building. It's really flat and like not very stylized, so, but that's really simple, the easy one. You can either go ghetto and add like a texture in Roblox, which is kind of like yikes, or you can do the texture in Blender, which I'm going to show you guys how to do real quick. So we're going to turn off this matte cap, just go down to shading and then turn it off just like that. And so now we just have the geometry, and from here we're going to open up another like this, and then we're going to go to UV image editor. So we're going to go back into edit mode, hit A, and then hit U and smart UV project, and okay. So this is all the faces of our model, and I'll show you why we need all those for a second. So we have all these and we need to change the color of all of them. So to do that, we're going to open an image, any image that we want. For me, I'm just going to use a color palette that I have. like this. So you see that all my faces are mapped onto a color right here. So if I switch to material, let's go to texture actually. They're all mapped onto a color and it looks like a rainbow mess. So to just get them all down into a general color, we're going to hit A over here and we're going to change the size by hitting S. And we're just going to take it and press G and drag it onto whatever color we want. So we're just going to go with a dark red, for example, like that. So now we have a dark red building. Like this. So what I'm going to do is select all these faces on the inside of all these pillars. Just like this. You can press Alt J if you want to, I think is the command. And that'll, no, you can Alt and then right click and that'll select, loop select all these faces, but I'm just doing it by hand. That should be all 4 sides. And we're just gonna color them a different color just to show you guys. So we're gonna hit A and that'll select the faces that we have selected. So anything you have selected here, it'll select over here if you hit A. And we can press G and just drag it. So let's say we want the inside to be, let's just do a wild example. We want the inside to be blue, right? So now we have blue on the inside of red. If you want to change that, all you have to do is go here, A, then we can box select whatever we want to change. Just change that to, I don't know, tell me what color, guys. Red on blue. We're gonna go with a gray. Sure, that works. Poop brown, okay. What would that be, like here? Sure. Cute. I love it. I could change all of these at the same time, like that, and make it like a darker gray and a darker brown. You can just grab it. Oh god. This is getting uglier and uglier. But you get the point. This is looking creepy now. Light gray and black. Should the pillars be black or the building? Whatever. We're gonna scale that down. And we're gonna do light gray. And then we'll make the inside. Oh, good God. Okay. We're gonna make the inside black or some color like that. Do you want like a gray or just a black? I think a gray looks better. We could try black though. Yeah, gray looks more natural, I think. Let's just grab this. Oops. Like that. This is looking like a bank. Alright, and then we need to color these. So let's just make them, what color? Blue? I don't know. Sure. It's kind of ugly. Let's do a light gray. That looks fine. Sam, you heard of Windows? Okay, I'll delete a floor and I'll add Windows just for you. Let's get rid of all these pillars. Okay, let's just get rid of some of these. What type of window you want? Oops. Let's do. I'll just keep doing that for all the sides. Let's get this out of the way a little bit. It's not wanting to loop select anymore. I could just do it this way. And then like 2 more sides to go. I could probably just do that. I'm an idiot. Okay, now we're gonna add windows, I guess. This is gonna look gay, probably. Should I just, let me check. Should I get rid of another floor? Maybe the top one? This is looking gay, I'm probably gonna undo all that. Dark gray should be the inside color. Okay. Well, add all the friggin' things back. Oh, good God. You know what? I don't feel like it. I'm just gonna do this, actually. And then... you know what? We're gonna get rid of a lot of these. And we're just gonna make windows. Yep. Should I leave the top ones? No. Okay, hear me out. It's looking a little ghetto right now, but I'll make it look better, I promise. See, that's decent. And then we just add some, you know, windows, a little shebang. Let's export this, and then let's save it. Sure, there. And we're just gonna, yeah, we're gonna get it up in Roblox. We're just gonna copy that one. Dude, side note. Okay, back to what I was doing. Let's just copy that one, put this one beside it. Here. And then it should add the texture automatically, but if not, yeah. Okay, that's really dark. Yeah, we're gonna change that to a lighter gray. But that's what it's looking like so far. Not too bad. You can make it wide. Let's just export this one again. Let's not actually. Okay. It's gonna look weird because I just imported it from Roblox, but that's fine. All the faces are the same. There you go, you got two different buildings. Oh yeah, rinse and repeat. If I wanted to, I could be like, make a short one. You know what I mean? Just keep on changing the size if you wanted to. See what I mean? Like if you really wanted to, you could just keep doing this all day long. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna add windows, the precious windows. Whoops, close music, whatever. Can you do? Yeah, let's do that. There, we got it back. Okay, how are we gonna do these windows? First of all, what type of building is this? What building should this be? And then we can look at references. ASMR. What the freak? Okay. Oh, we need to apply the texture again. So let's just go to texture. Oh, never mind. It's already there. So we just need to open up the texture again. Go to UV image editor and it should automatically be there. They said the gray should be lighter, no, darker on the outside. Is that what you wanted? Okay, let's just, this one, grab it and move it there. And then we could do this. Move it there. Is that better? It's darker on the outside. Let's switch to object mode, you can see it. Whatever. I think it looks pretty dark. I'm just gonna try lighter shades. I like that shade. It's pretty good. But it probably will look whack in Roblox because Roblox lighting is hard to replicate in Blender. So it's weird, like you never know how, like you never know how dark it's actually gonna be. So let's just open this up and see how it looks. Yeah, like that gray. Here, first of all, let's go to lighting here. Turn off, or change this, I mean, to a lighter gray. Just do, sure. See, that gray is really dark. Let's turn off global shadows for a second. And then bump up the brightness a little bit. This is like the ghettoest way to do your lighting. Don't ever do this for any real purposes. I mean, it's fine, I guess. All of it should be lighter, like the door. Let me check the door. What do you mean? This is the same color. But the inside, I agree, should be lighter. See, look how light it looks here. And then, see what I mean? It's real hard to know. Let's just keep changing the color, I guess, until we get it right. Let's try that. Export. I just keep overriding the old one because I keep duplicating in here, so it doesn't matter. Why is it so dark? Oh, I know why it's so dark. That's my own dang fault. We're gonna go real ghetto with this lighting. Okay, we're gonna make windows. I think I'm just gonna do these windows. That'll be fine, I think. Probably gonna change the color from gray. Gray's kind of like making it boring. Let's just try like playing with different colors. Like these are all so ugly. I probably should use a better color palette next time. Whatever, we're going with gray still. I'm a liar. Let's just make that window. Okay, we're gonna insert a cube. Get rid of that color editor for a second. And we're gonna see like what size is probably gonna be. How many should we do per like row? Like 1, 2, 3, or smaller? Let's make them smaller. 2, 3, 4. Let's do 4 per row. About that size should be fine. Alright, for this one, I'm probably going to be lazy. So what we're going to do is go to, I think, oh, we're in edit mode. Okay, so we can go to here, insert a face, like that. We're going to need to loop cut right here. and drag it down, and then loop cut again. And first of all, let's get this one again, and then drag that one down as well, and then one more time here, and then another time here, just like that. Should be fine. Let's select all 4 of these faces, drag them in a little bit, and then hit E and S. Boom, you have your window, right? So it's obviously white. We're gonna need it to be we're gonna need it to match the door. Let's just move this back. Alright, that should be fine. And first we're going to join it together with this building. So let's just go back into object mode and select both of them. Should be both of them, yeah. Control J. Now it's one mesh and that window's a part of it. You guys can see that. And now we're gonna box select it all. Make sure you don't miss any edges or any faces, I mean. Just keep selecting. Hold shift, I think. Should be fine without holding shift actually. Good. Usually move it to make sure I got everything, which I do. And then let's color it first actually. Let's drag this bad boy back out and open our, right there. And hit U and Smart UV project and scale it all down. And we're gonna drag it to that gray we like. And I forget what color we used for the building, so we could go here and find out. Okay, so it's this color for the inside of the window. Go here, open back up that. There, like that. And that should be it. Okay, now we got our window. And we can drag it over to the building and duplicate it a bunch of times. Just select it all. I'm using box select, but you could select it like just by right clicking and holding shift. I think what I'm gonna do, make sure I got everything first. That should be good. Now I'm going to limited dissolve it, get better topology, which is fine, and then just move it over. Now I think we can hold 4, so let's just try 2. And then one more. Yeah, that should be good. Let's just keep doing that. I'm gonna drag this up real quick and just line it up. I'm doing this the laziest way possible, but it's fine. Just like that. If I duplicate it too much, it's fine. Like duplicate and forget to move it, because I can remove doubles at the end. And I'm not gonna forget the top part, so fun. Select on Blender, you hit A, or you can use your right click. Okay, and then one more up here. This looks awfully repetitive, but you can kind of hide from that if you have good textures to make up for it. Which I don't. I'm just using a color palette and mapping the faces onto a texture. But for some people, you can use like Substance Painter. That's a good one. And you can just paint some cool like break designs or something to go with it. Here's with all the windows. And we're just gonna export it and check it out in Roblox, I think is what I'm gonna do. Oh, I forgot to, our windows are separate. So let's just go to export. And then make sure it's that. And save it as building 2. Now we should be good. Just like that. So let's see what's up with this. Oh yeah. Looking pretty good, I think. This is like a little too white, maybe. It should be fine. This could actually pass for a pretty decent apartment building, or I could probably change this to a light red. Or even add like a brick design to it, and that should be pretty good actually. Let's do that. So let's just go to, let's drag this out. I think that's all I'm gonna do for this. I'm getting kind of bored of this one. Okay, anyways, let's select all these and just see if a red would look decent. I don't know why it's trying to paint. I don't even have paint selected, but whatever. There we go. Interesting. You do not want UV sculpt. That's weird. I don't know why it's even. Let's just do this. Yeah, like you see in this red circle, it's kind of like wanting to change the way the texture maps onto the image. So we're just going to close this probably. I think it's right click, left click, I don't know. Let's just, we have it exported in Roblox. Let's reopen Blender. Oops. Import, yeah, let's get rid of this cube, camera, light, whatever. And import. Like that. And let's go to texture. That should be fine. Open the image editor again. Alright, and if you go to edit mode, it should automatically be there. So I think this is the building color, the interior color. We're just gonna take that to a red, I think is what I'm gonna do. Maybe this color. And we're gonna export it and see how it looks. Maybe a darker red. This is too white, I think, so I'm going to switch it to a darker gray, and then we can play around with the red more in a second. So let's just change the, yeah. Is it this one? Yes. So let's box select this, and then just move it to a darker gray. Maybe that should be fine. Let's export. Look at all these buildings. I think that's fine. I think that's all I'm gonna do for today. That's like a basic building. I wanted to do something more stylized, maybe make it like the bottom smaller than the top. I could probably do that real quick. It's real simple. Go to edit mode, and then you're gonna go to like down here somewhere. I love that. And I could select this bottom right here, hit faces, and then turn on proportional editing, enable it. And I think I could just scale it, and then everything around it should react accordingly. You see it kind of does that, but since these pillars are here, it's not going to cooperate very much unless I do this. Oops. Let's just, oh, I see. So we've got a little bit of a problem here. Here, let's just do this. All right. Like so. You see these extra squares? That's from I deleted the pillars earlier, and I forgot about the edges. That's an easy fix. I can do that in 1 second. But first, I want to create a mesh. Let's see if we can do. How can I do this? Make edges face? No. See here. Oh well, but now that I have them all selected, I could do it either way. So let's just hit S, and that should, like, you see what I mean? I could do that and make it. It's a little too dramatic, but you get the point. I don't want to mess up the door, which is why you gotta be careful for this. Just a little bit. Should be fine. Same goes for the top. You can just make it bigger or smaller if you want to. But I'm gonna keep it all uniform for now. If you wanted to, you could also select the corners over here and make the floors look kind of uneven. Give it like a, just make it everything not look so uniform. If you want to, of course. You see what I mean? Let's go into object mode. But yeah, that's like a basic building, and then we can color it and map the faces onto stuff and create some doors and stuff. I'll probably do more stuff like this in the future, but that's just like a building. You can obviously copy and paste those all to the other sides, but I got lazy. So that's our basic stuff. And then we have a lot of trial and error buildings if you want to mess around and make like your own little city type thing with all this weirdness. But for the most part, that's it. Yep. Thanks for hanging out with me, watching me make stuff. Yeah, bye.